how to work with guilt, shame, and fear in a practical way so you can start actually moving on your healing journey and you can start seeing the results in your everyday life. So let's be very practical about it, and let's start first with the first action that I would like you to take is that please think about your day yesterday and look at maybe some situations and think about your behaviors and your actions, and also the inner dialogue that you have with yourself in your head, because we do have these, and the inner conversations that you have with yourself and with other people. Okay? So when you're thinking of these, so the things that happened yesterday, do you notice any situations in which your actions or your behaviors were driven by the defense against feeling the guilt, the defense against feeling the shame, the defense against feeling the fear? And this is really important for you to understand, that whenever your actions are driven by the fear of feeling something that is uncomfortable, that is one, but also sometimes those feelings of fear and shame and guilt are heavily driven by the trauma and your past experiences, and your nervous system almost like ticks them that, oh, if we're gonna do this, we might potentially feel fear or feel guilt or feel shame. Therefore, let's do something to avoid it. Yes. And if you are honest with yourself and do this like a little bit of honest self-inquiry, you will notice that potentially quite a few actions and behaviors that you just treat as normal actually are stemming from the avoidance or defense against those feelings. And the reason why I'm talking about the shame, the guilt, and the fear is because I noticed in my client work, these are the emotions that are coming up a lot. And also in our cultures, there's just a whole lot of very different, and I would say maladaptive conditioning around it. So I want you to question maybe your family, the way your family was working or maybe not working with shame and guilt and fear culturally. So think about different layers of your maybe upbringing, of your environment, and how that defense was shaped within you. Because it doesn't have to necessarily be trauma, but it could be some, let's say, lighter conditioning, but still conditioning that will keep you from actually acting from your full self. Because the whole point of the healing journey is for you to start acting and behaving like you. But because we have those different layers of a program or conditioning, however we want to call it, but different things that we learned, it's like a learned behavior. It's that there's a lot of those actions and behaviors that are stemming from that defense. And when we actually are being honest with ourselves about that, then we're creating some lightness around it. That's one thing. And the other thing, some space around it as well. So there's more openness. So the whole point of first starting with that a very honest inquiry about your yesterday and what sort of actions had been driving your behaviors, what sort of reasoning had been driving your behavior, is not for you to criticize yourself, but actually for you to simply become aware, this is what I'm doing. This is really interesting because I'm doing quite similar thing that maybe my mom used to do or my dad used to do. So that is something that you can start working with straight away. So once you become aware of these actions and these behaviors, the next step is for you to start making shame, guilt, and fear somatically safe for your nervous system. Yes, I know that this is a big take, but actually, is it? Shame, guilt and fear are part of, everyday life. Those feelings will crop up. And when you are able to process those emotions internally in your body without responding in the same old impulsive ways, that's how you heal. So what you can do now that, let's say, you became aware of, let's say, one particular behavior that you had been engaging with because of that awareness exercise that I just set for you to do, and you may be starting already feeling a little bit of that shame or guilt or fear that is cropping up. It's okay. So sometimes, the sheer fact of actually watching a video that openly talks about shame and guilt and fear, that already opens up something in your body, and your nervous system start almost like, ticking it, like, oh, there's this feeling that we are avoiding. Is it safe to feel? Yes, it is. So I want you to stay in that feeling for as long as you can, and then stay until that feeling loses its intensity, and you will feel it because it's an intuitive action, but I know that the what we are actually scared of when we are feeling that sensation of guilt or shame or feel is that actual intensity. So allow that intensity to almost like engulf the body without taking any action. Just you can breathe through it, but you don't have to. It's almost like there's no technique. I mean, you can use breathing techniques if you want to, but I think that our bodies are resilient enough, and our nervous systems are resilient enough to have the capacity to feel all these without unnecessarily introducing any extra techniques. So just allow your body to feel that shame, and what is important, include the inner dialogue. Include it in a dialogue that will sound, something along the lines, whatever works for you. But I can give you an example. It's like, feeling the shame is normal for me, and I can feel it and still take adequate action. I can feel the shame. Shame is not a biggie for me. Shame is fine. I've got no problem with shame. So it's really important that you're starting changing the relationship that you have with the shame, with the guilt, with the fear. And you're just going to be like, yeah, no biggie, it's fine. Really important not to make it positive, because the thing is that you cannot really trick your brain into thinking, oh, this is a wonderful thing. I am feeling shame and this is so wonderful. Let's not do that. Yes, feeling shame is actually uncomfortable, and it is an unpleasant emotion to feel in the body. So let's say it. It's not about tricking yourself, because you cannot trick your body. Your body is a really good lie detector. So best not to do that, and just be human about it and be light about it. This is really important. That attitude of lightness is crucial. So once your nervous system start making shame and guilt and fear, and this requires practice, especially in real time when those feelings of shame are triggered, and you just like, whoof, you're being hit with that heat of, or the wave, of guilt and shame, and actually you're pausing, you're feeling it, and you're maybe not taking any action when previously you would. So, and this is really important. So the point number 3, so the next step is for you to start doing that in real time, because working on the awareness, and then kind of working with that feeling when you are alone, that is like it's almost like a test before, it's like a rehearsal before the real world. In the real world, it's much, much trickier to do that, because you have to become aware in real time with a real person and actually do this type of work without any rehearsal. And it is difficult, guys. It is difficult. I've done loads of work on my own shame and guilt and fear. And it's at the beginning, it is like swimming upstream. So please, again, be aware of that. Give yourself grace, and don't treat it like, oh my God, don't make it like too important, if that makes sense. If you still reacted in the old way, that's okay. You're gonna have definitely loads of more opportunities to take a different action. So the point number 3 is to actually start taking different action in real life. Now, what I want you to do, that all those rehearsals that you're going to be doing in, let's say, in a safe space of your house or in the therapy room, that is already unveiling almost like the fog of those suppressed emotions. So every time you're allowing the shame or the guilt or the fear to run its course in the body without reacting in the old way, even if it is caused by you being, let's say, triggering yourself and working like in that awareness and therapeutic session, or like I said, in the comfort of your own home or, you know, garden, whichever, that is already giving you more clarity. So then it's way easier to do that in real life with real people. So I trust that that was helpful. The only thing that I wanted to add is this attitude. Give yourself, don't be perfectionistic about it. Please, guys, it's so important that you will not almost like grind yourself into that. It's supposed to be done with lightness. The lighter touch you have whilst doing this very intense work, the better for you, and you're gonna have the results much quicker. So that's the gist of it. If you need help with learning how to process these emotions, and you want some like therapeutic advice on that, that would be directed specifically to your particular situation and to your particular history, you can book a session with me. For a lot of people, booking literally just one session, because all of you guys, you have so much awareness, and for you at this point, you just need a little bit of precision for one person like myself to see a blind spot that you still don't see, and then work on that blind spot, and then that blind spot can clear a lot of stuff for you. So booking one session can make a lot of difference for you. So otherwise, please like, share, and subscribe. And also the link to booking a session is on my website, and it is the link below. Like, share, and subscribe. As always, I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye bye.